Middlefield also just crunches them, leaves them bleeding in a ditch. And it's not procedural, it's not, you know, it's okay? So an hour and a half before Middlefield comes out, 3 days, now he's really had time to look at the decision. And he's not a Rickett, he's a super lawyer, he really is a good lawyer. So what's he say now? I don't know that Anshes will pursue a takings claim at this point. But I do think we'll see a takings claim somewhere in the state. That's right. So let's look at this one. They want you to believe and be afraid that they have a perfectly valid claim for their $5 million, $4.7 million in investment and for lost profits. But they say they're not sure they're going to bring a lawsuit to get that money back. They could if they wanted to, and it would be a no-brainer to win, but they might not bring the suit because they might not want to. Well, let me tell you something else. I've spent my entire, until I did this, I spent my entire career representing very large financial institutions. It's going to drive some people on the other side of the room nuts because they spend a lot of time and they can't find out what I used to do. But that's what I used to do. And these are people with, or companies with phenomenal amounts of money, including in some cases institutions that are, quote, too big to fail. Okay? No matter how much money you have, you do not leave $5 million on the table if you can get it back. You don't get that much money by leaving $5 million on the table. You don't have to be a super lawyer. Even a mediocre lawyer does not leave $5 million of the client's money on the table if there's anything you can do about it. Okay? No matter who tells you otherwise. So sometimes it's important, you know, we have this thing in Latin, it's called res ipsa loquitur. The thing speaks for itself. This speaks for itself. We're going to sue you for millions in takings. They bring the lawsuit. They don't bring it for takings. Well, we'll sue you later for takings, but after we appeal. Well, we're not going to appeal, but we're going to sue you for big money in takings. Now, we don't think we're going to sue for takings at all. Okay? So, when people come in and they pound the table, you know, on takings, no pun intended, but take it with a grain of salt. The other thing that somebody is now going around saying is that these suits are not real suits because they're something called a declaratory judgment. And they're telling you that they want you to believe that a declaratory judgment is something less than a real legal judgment that you don't have to pay attention to. And a lawyer's saying this. That lawyer is either affirmatively misleading people or he shouldn't be practicing law, in my opinion. Okay? There's no gray area here if he's saying that. Because this is a doozy that a declaratory judgment isn't a real decision. New York civil practice laws and rules govern this. It's a final, this is a quote. It's a final judgment as to the rights and other legal relations, whether or not further relief is or could be claimed. You know why there was no other further relief granted? They didn't ask for it. They didn't ask for it. So he's going around saying, since the judge didn't do anything other than a declaratory judgment, you don't have to pay attention. No, he didn't ask, Mr. West didn't ask for anything else. That's why it looks that way. Okay? A declaratory judgment is entitled to res judicata and collateral estoppel. You don't even want to start there. I can explain it, but it's terrible stuff. But the important thing is that means it's entitled to the full faith and credit of the United States under the Constitution. That is very much a real judgment. Okay, despite what they tell you. So, to pull back, including my animation, there are people here who bring out the best in me. Whether or not you decide you want to even think about considering a moratorium, and if you go past that, if you do, and then you decide you do want to enact a moratorium, that does not mean that you have decided, or that it's a foregone conclusion in any way that you're against gas drilling in this town. All it means is that you want to take protective action before the DEC issues permits to give you basically a breather, a timeout to look at this thing and make a decision. That's it.